Okay, now, this text is even more difficult. This is one of the most incredible texts in all of the Bible. It's Genesis chapter 22. I want to go through this text. It's called Genesis 22. Up until this point in the book of Genesis, God comes to Abraham, and God is the great promiser. He comes to Abraham, and every time he comes to Abraham, he says, Abraham, Abraham, I'm going to give you a son. I'm going to give you many seed, stars of the heaven as the sand of the seashore. I'm going to give you this land, this promised land, and I'm going to make you a blessing to all the world, all the nations, the land, the seed, the blessing. And he keeps repeating that over and over again. And he keeps telling him, Abraham, you're going to have a son, not Ishmael. Abraham, you're going to have a son, not Eliezer. Abraham, you're going to have a son by Sarah. And Abraham waits till he's like an old man. He's like, near 100 years old or whatever, he has his child. I mean, he's waited a long time. And now God changes in his role. God is no longer the promiser here. He's no longer the promiser. Now God takes a new role. He tests Abraham. And so God changes his role with Abraham. He's going to test him. In chapter 22, then, let me start off with this. It says, sometime later, God tested Abraham. And he said to him, Abraham, here I am, he replied. And then God said this, take your son, your only son, Isaac. In other words, the son of the promise, the one that you waited so long for, the one with Sarah, the special child, Isaac, laughter. You take him, the kid's probably about 16 years old now. Okay, so do parents get attached to their children over time? And so he loves this kid. And now take your son, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering. Now you say, well, hey, we know about burnt offerings. We just started the book of Leviticus, okay? Yeah, what's the problem with the burnt offering? It's usually called a whole burnt offering. When it says whole burnt offering, usually what happens is the kid going to walk away from this? No, when you're a whole burnt offering, the whole thing gets burned up. You're fried, okay? So it's, go to Mount Moriah and sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about. There seems to be a specific place on one of the mountains I will tell you about. Can you imagine what's going through Abraham's head now? God has just told him to sacrifice this kid that he's waited for, that he's loved, and things like that. It's got to be incredibly devastating. What's the next verse say? It's very interesting how the text does this. This is the next verse. Early the next morning, Abraham got up. See, because if you're going to do God's will, you got to get up early, because the early bird gets the worm. It's really important. He got up early in the morning. See, early in the morning. Got to get up early in the morning. And then after he got up early in the morning, he saddled his donkey. See, because if you're going to go for a ride for 3 days to the north there, you got to saddle a donkey. You got to ride a donkey. To ride a donkey, you got to saddle it and stuff. So he got up early, he saddled his donkey, and he took with him 2 servants. Now you need the servants because you got to haul this wood for the fire. And you need the servants to help you out. So he's got 2 servants, so he's helping them out. Okay, he took the 2 servants with him and his son Isaac. And when he had cut enough wood, oh yeah, if you're going to have a sacrifice, do you need wood to burn on there? So it's really important. You're going to go sacrifice to God, you got to bring the wood. You don't want to get caught with no wood, and you're going to bring okay. So he cut the wood for the burnt offering and set out to the place that God told him. And what this proves is that Abraham's feelings don't matter. Is there any mention of Abraham's feelings here? Not one. Abraham got up early, saddled his donkey, cut the wood. No feelings whatsoever. He just obeyed God. You obey God, there's no place for feelings and things like that. This text does not even mention the struggle that Abraham had. It's not important. He just obeyed God. Question, is that right? No. No, it's not right. Is the text working you here? It's telling you about saddling the donkey. Do you care whether he saddled his donkey? He cut the wood. Do you care whether he cut the wood or not, and that he took 2 servants with him? You don't care. Is it giving you all this extraneous information? Why is it doing that? It's inviting you into the text, giving you all this space, this kind of crazy stuff that doesn't have anything to do with barely anything, and it's inviting you to say, who is to supply the feelings of Abraham in this narrative? The reader. And it's calling you as the reader, telling you all this extraneous stuff to invite you in to say, holy cow, what's going on in his head? So that you can feel what Abraham feels. And it's an invitation by telling you this extraneous stuff. I think it's an invitation in to say, how would you feel if God asked you to give up your son? So he goes down, and they go down, and he said to his servants, stay here with the donkey while I go over. And then he says, we will go over and worship, then we will come back. The New Testament cites this, that Abraham thought that even if he killed him, that God would raise him from the dead. Now, is that pretty good? Is that pretty good, not knowing anything about Jesus back in that time? Does this guy believe God? Abraham took the wood and burnt offering. It goes down, and then Isaac shows up. Isaac's going to say a few words. I forgot to press the buttons here. But let me just tell you, this story here is called the Akedah. If you're in Jewish circles, this is a famous passage for the Jewish people, and this is called the Akedah. The Akedah means the binding of Isaac. Akedah means binding. The binding of Isaac. And this is the binding of Isaac passage. It's a famous passage, so much a struggle for a son after all this time. Now, rapid fire with no emotions shown. And what I'm suggesting is that this is good literature. This good literature invites you into the story. You are to supply the emotions, the tensions, the pathos of the narrative. God as blesser turns to God tester, and so God makes this massive shift here. Now, okay, painful obedience, and what you've got, let me just read some of the rest of the story here. It says, Abram answered, Isaac, let's get Isaac in the story. You can see Isaac's about 16, right? The father's how old? The father's like in his hundreds, the kid's in his 16, right? And the kid's like, Dad, did Mom tell you you forgot something here, Dad? We got the wood and the fire, all right, Dad, but hey, Dad, where's the lamb? We need the lamb. Did Mom forget you to do the lamb thing? And so Isaac here basically says, Father, yes, my son, Abram, right? The fire and wood are here, but where's the lamb for the burnt offering? Dad, did you forget something? And then Abraham says, check this out, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering. God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering. Can you hear the echo? It's a 2,000-year echo. God himself, my son, will provide the lamb. Does God actually do it? The lamb is his son. Does anybody Baptist in here? And you go with this guy, John the Baptist. And what does John the Baptist say? He says, behold the what? Behold the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sin of the world, as he announces Jesus Christ. And so this passage echoes with Jesus Christ. Abraham is told to offer up his son. Abraham is spared from actually going through with it. Will God actually go through with it? Now, that brings up a whole lot of things. I've learned... So you guys philosophers in here? Philosophers probably understand things better than I do. There's a guy named Soren Kierkegaard. He's written a book called Fear and Trembling. To be honest with you, I had to read the thing 3 times before I could figure out what he was doing, but it's one of the most profound books I've ever read. It's called Fear and Trembling, and it's built off of this narrative. Soren Kierkegaard. It's a real short thing, about, 40, 50 pages, but it's absolutely profound. A year ago, I had a massive struggle with this passage. A year ago, right now, my son was in Afghanistan. My son is a boot, okay? A boot means that basically he's a Marine, and that means he's on the ground, and that means he's got an M16, he's on the ground. He's got a 50 cal machine gun, and he's on the ground kind of person, okay? Every day he went out, and he called and told us this. Every day they went outside the wire. Every day they went outside the wire, they got shot at. His best friend took a bullet right straight through his neck. His friend, it missed by 1 millimeter, his major artery here. The guy, we have pictures of Hadley running to the helicopter as he was shot through the neck, putting a compress on his own neck as he's running to. This guy is, you'd have to know, this guy is like totally courageous. And but anyways, he got shot through the neck. Other friends of my son didn't make it. They weren't that lucky, and sometimes the bullets went the wrong place. And Twig is dead, one of his best friends, and other friends I don't even want to discuss. He saw it all. Saw stuff that human beings should never see in their life. He saw it all. I'm in Massachusetts with my Old Testament class, teaching Old Testament. My son's over in Afghanistan getting shot at every day For 28 days, he was outside the wire, barely got any sleep because you can't sleep, because when you sleep, you never know. Just like that, these guys can be on you and stuff, and so they got very, very little sleep. He is still not sleeping right till this day. So anyway, did I learn to pray to God? Did I have to let go of my son and say, God, you're going to have to take care of him? Now question, should a father protect his kid? You say, you don't know Elliot, he's big, he's 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds now. He takes care of himself now. But question, they're shooting at him. I can't protect him. I can't protect him. My kid is there. I can't protect him. I always protect my children. And so I feel helpless. When you feel helpless, what do? You pray, because that's all you got. And I learned a lot about prayer last year. And the honest truth was that for much of the time last year, I was praying God would kill me. I just said, God, the old man goes first. The kid's got to know, the old man goes first. The young kid, God, spare his life. If you're going to take somebody, take me. Don't take him. Let's spare him. I'll go. Take me right now. Take me in front of an Old Testament. I don't care where you take me. Just take me. Let him live. Now, so happens God got him back here, and he's, physically, he's, there's no, he didn't get hurt or anything like that. Is there a lot of stuff going on in his head? Oh, yeah. But anyways, we're working with that now and stuff. But anyways, we love our son. But what I'm saying is that feeling of helplessness and God asking and you're having to give up something like that. I learned something about the story. Now that's